Hello, I am back again, and today I thought I would try a brand new filming corner. I've got my softbox on, I've got my light ring going on. I hope it's looking a little bit better. I feel like in this new house I haven't quite set up a filming corner. Anyway, so a few days ago I did a video saying, I think actually it was last week, I don't remember. Anyway, I did a video saying that I had filmed an empty new house tour, but I wasn't really ready to show it because I had kind of like a little bit of nastiness about it, and I kind of suddenly was like, okay, I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna show you my empty house tour. I feel like a lot of people were like, I'd really like to see it, and I would like to show it, but I feel like first I need to give you a little context because you obviously all saw my empty house, old house tour. Does that make sense? But obviously you don't know what it looked like before. And like, we worked so hard on that house. Like, we worked so hard. We literally were there for like 5.5, almost 6 years. No, I think 5.5 years. And we worked so much. We spent so much money. We spent so much time on it. We put so much love and effort and money and time and all those kind of things into it. And I wanted to kind of go back and show you what it looked like before, because I don't want to be arrogant, but I truly feel like that house was beautiful, and I'm so proud of how wonderful it was. And it, you know, obviously when we moved in and when we chose it, it had some amazing original features. But I do also kind of feel like we made it good. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, it had beautiful stained glass windows, but like a lot of them were cracked and broken. Like, some of them were literally missing, you know, and you know, there was a male-female toilets, it was a social club, the kitchen was horrific, we had mice, there were flies flying around, we didn't know why. It was pretty brutal. It was pretty hard to live through. We had to live in the renovation because we couldn't afford to move out and renovate and pay rent and pay mortgage and pay for a renovation, because I mean, how much money would that cost? So yeah, it was pretty hard to live through, and it was pretty brutal when we moved in. And I wanted to kind of show some before pictures, and hopefully some after pictures as well, so that you can kind of get a sense for what we did, so that if you are the kind of person who's going to look at my new house and be like, like, that seems basic. Like, it's not basic, it's just, it needs some love and it needs some work and it needs some TLC, just like our old house did. So I made a little photo album on my phone, and I'm gonna do a screen recording if I can work out how on my new phone, and I am gonna go through some old pictures of our house when we bought it, and you can see what we were working with, because it was it was grim. Okay, so the first picture, this is my boyfriend, I think about 5.5 years ago, stood outside the house, and it was boarded up, no joke, it was completely boarded up. You can see the boarding upness, and you can also see on the stained glass windows there were like metal bars. No joke. You can also see the pretty grim looking net curtains, and there was a drain pipe which snaked around the turret. That's kind of what we're working with. Like, it was pretty grim. It needed repointing. It was dirty, it was filthy, it was boarded up, let's be honest, it was basically derelict. So that's my first picture. Next picture, this is the male-female toilets. So as I mentioned, the house had been used as like, I think, bedsit and a social club. I know. And then it was left empty for about a year, which is when we were like, let's take it. So, so this is the male-female toilets. This became the Airbnb bathroom. I will try and find a photo and insert it, but it actually became a really beautiful room. But yeah, when we first moved in, it was male-female toilets, and I think I walked in one time, closed that door, and never went in ever again until it was a beautiful bathroom. But yeah, that's kind of what we were working with. It was brutes. Okay, next picture. This is my office. Remember my beautiful pink office? This was my office. It was originally 2 rooms. I don't know if you remember, but it was quite a big room. and it was 2 rooms, neither of which were good. It was pretty grim. I mean, it had like boxed plug sockets everywhere. It was all kind of so nasty. And I don't know if you can see that in the corner, by the ratty net curtains, that was like a little Ted Baker bag that was sellotaped in front of that window because the window had basically broken and there was no window there anymore, so they sellotaped a Ted Baker bag over it, so that was nice. Anyway, that was after we took the wall down, and yeah, that was like basically pre-renovation, but like the stud wall had come down. So that's what it looked like. Then, oh yes, this was our bedroom. So this was actually what became the Airbnb, and we lived in this room like this, no joke, for I think 6 months. It was so cold. We had all our boxes all around the bed. We had no sofa. The only piece of furniture we had was a bed. We used to use cardboard boxes as bedside tables. The strip lights were controlled in the kitchen, which was a room away, and if we were going to bed at night, we would have to get out of bed and go to the kitchen to turn the light off, and then kind of like use our phones as a torch to get back into bed. The toilets were at the other side of the house and upstairs, and if I wanted to go to the toilet in the middle of the night, I used to make my boyfriend come with me because I was too afraid. It felt haunted, it felt scary. I was afraid I might die. So that's literally how we lived for 6 months, and I cannot quite believe it looking at it because it was brutal. Like, it was a tough time. My boyfriend also, I will say this, he went on a lot of work trips during that time. I'm just saying. But yeah, that's how we lived, and that is what became the Airbnb, which was actually a lovely, lovely, lovely room, but it was originally all one with the male-female toilets. And yeah, that's how we lived, and it was just how it had to be. Next picture. This is my boyfriend at work. He actually has a very good job. And bless his heart, he worked, you know, the days that he was working from home, which was a few. This is where he set up shop. Take notice of the ceiling fan, the pulled off cladding off the wall, the gold and black fireplace, the kitchen, which was grim. This was the circuit board, that's the word, which controlled the lights in the entire house basically. And yes, there was a fire extinguisher because I think the house was so unsafe that the people who sold it to us probably thought, let's put in a fire extinguisher. So yeah, that's kind of what the kitchen looked like. And again, that became a beautiful room. But that's the before of the kitchen. And that's the before of the fireplace, which, I mean, it was very Masonic. We stripped that back completely. We painted it kind of like a soft grey. We exposed the wrought iron, and we actually took the top off, which I felt a little bit guilty about because obviously the top was original. But one of the builders did point out the top was actually broken and the base was actually broken too. But what we did was we compromised, we took the top off because, let's be honest, it was pretty ugly, and we repaired the base of it. So, you know, we kept a bit. We kept the originalness of it, but we did take the top off. But, I mean, it was pretty scary to look at. Oh, that's another shot of our bedroom. So... this is the other side of the bedroom. So basically the boxes were behind us. This over here in the back corner, that was our pop-up kitchen. We had a few pop-up kitchens because the kitchen wasn't really workable. The oven didn't work, the fridge didn't work. There was no washing machine, there was no dishwasher. Basically there was a few countertops which were rank. Anyway, that was our original pop-up kitchen, and you can see that there was already building works going on. How do I expand that? There we go. There was already building works going on. It was pretty brutal. There was also a conservatory back here which ended up coming down. Which, by the way, if you're ever bringing down a conservatory, you don't need planning permission for, just so you know. Oh, this was the hallway. I loved the hallway so much. It was so beautiful, and it was probably one of the hardest rooms to leave. But it didn't always start off like that. It was, again, pretty tough. This was after we started stripping away the wallpaper, the ceiling fan. Weirdly, the plastic window surround, I don't know why it was plastic, that obviously went. And it was like very heavily varnished wood, which was a nightmare to get off, but we did. And then we painted it and primed it and all those things. And it was such a beautiful room. And also we knocked out the ceiling, but I think we'll get to that in a minute. There we go. There is a knocked out ceiling. We literally got on that tower and we bashed it out with crowbars, but we very carefully kept in the coving because the original coving, we didn't want to lose it. We could have replaced it for similar new coving, but we didn't. We wanted to keep the original coving because anything original you can keep, in my mind, is always good. So we knocked that out and it was a filthy job. Oh, next, the kitchen. Oh my God, this is the kitchen. So this is when we were using the countertops of the kitchen. It was not good. I mean, it was not good. It was a dark time in my past. I'm gonna swipe through, but you can see it was pretty bad. And then that's after the kitchen was knocked out. And yeah, I think we lived with that for about a month. It took them a long time to rip it all out, ready to get the new one in. And if you can see that little corner on the top left hand side, that little hole that's exposed in the ceiling, let me see if I can expand. That actually went straight out to daylight, to the elements. So in the winter it was pretty cold. Yeah, and that's when it completely got ripped out and we discovered that underneath there was a window. Very strange. Oh, that was our hallway when that became the pop-up kitchen, when the kitchen was being worked on. So that was our pop-up kitchen while the kitchen was being built. This is a mid-ceiling coming down shot. So this is my boyfriend. Mid-rubble. It was such a filthy job. It was intense. It was really physically hard work, but it was filthy. So that's that. And yeah, it had been overboarded twice and then had Artex on top. So it was a lot of work. Oh, this is our fireplace. Remember our fireplace? The one in the hallway? That originally was black and gold and didn't actually have a fire grate in it. So we got a specialist fireman to put a grate in. He found an old one which just fit. And we obviously sanded it back, we painted it like a soft grey colour again, and we also nitromorsed off the gold paint, which is when we exposed copper and brass, which was really exciting for us. This was the kitchen when the stained glass windows were being refurbished and we were boarded up, and yes, we lived like this. That was again pretty brutal. Oh my God, this was our Airbnb doorway. Remember my pink door? That was like a Pinterest award-winning door. This is how it began. Boarded up and grim. And this is when we get to the afters. So this is where we lived, you know, where the bed was in the middle of the room with all the boxes. That became the Airbnb, so this is the after picture. That's the kitchen, so you can see that the triangle fireplace had been removed. I will try and put some side-by-side pictures up. And yeah, it looked a lot better. And then that was what became the kitchen. So this is the after of the kitchen. And then the hallway that was once a pop-up kitchen and was once had the ceiling knocked down. That's again the after. And then my office, which I think we saw at the very beginning, became very cute and very pink. And then the hallway again, once it was clean, it was so beautiful. Airbnb again, and then kitchen again. I don't know if you can recognise it, but somewhere back there was once a fire extinguisher and a ceiling fan. And then this was our bedroom, which I didn't show you any before pictures of, but I think you can guess how it looked. It was grim. And then our kitchen again, very different. And then the fireplace, again, this was at Christmas. This was so pretty. It filled my heart with so much joy. I Christmased up the place like it was a full-on grotto. But yeah, it's shocking to think where it was and what it became. And then here is another picture of our house at Christmas again. And yeah, it went from being basically wood to white to kind of a dark blue and a black. And yeah, it was so pretty in the end. It was so pretty. I loved it so much, but I just want to kind of show you where it started, because I think without the kind of the before pictures, you can't really appreciate the after pictures. Oh, and then there's my Airbnb door. So this was when it was snowing just before we left. I took a quick picture of it. But yeah, the builders were like, this door is beyond repair, just get a new one made. And I was like, I feel like we can do it. So we changed all the glass for toughened glass. We made it opaque glass too, so you couldn't see in. I took off the panel, we sanded it back. We got some new fixtures, fittings, all those kind of things. We spent quite a lot of money on it because actually it was quite bad. It was still cheaper than buying a new bespoke door, but it was a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of money. But in the end, I thought it was so cute. And then, oh, the Airbnb. You know, this sounds like a lie, but I swear to you, I took this from bed. I was sleeping in the room when it looked like this. And that same night, I swear to you, you can ask my mum, my boyfriend was staying in a luxury hotel for work, and he Instagrammed the hotel. It was the Crazy Bear, I think in Stadhampton or Beaconsfield, I'm not sure which one, but he Instagrammed his, and then I was like, look where I'm sleeping. And this was honestly taken from in bed, because basically like, there was nowhere else for me to sleep at the time, so I had to sleep there because everything else was being worked on. And yeah, my boyfriend went on a work trip and left me sleeping there, and you can see that the angle is quite low because I was literally lying in bed taking a picture with a flash at night, being like, I can't believe you just shared your hotel, this is where I'm sleeping. And my mum still thinks it's hilarious that he felt the need to show his hotel while I was sleeping there. Okay, next picture. This is the back of the kitchen. That door obviously was changed. The lights were all changed. There was a weird boxed in area. I mean, it was pretty grim. The fireplace again. Yeah, I don't really know why I included this one. I feel like we've seen a lot of the fireplace, but whatever. But one thing I will say is when the top of the fireplace came off, the plasterer who was plastering the room said, I can't plaster on top of what you've got. So basically we had to take that whole wall back to bare brick, and that was quite a lot of work. We literally had to like chisel it off, the two of us, me and John. That weekend we had to like chisel it all off before we could plaster it. You know what? It was a lot of work, but it was totally worth it. And that is my little trip down memory lane for you. I hope... Oh, I'm going to turn off the... There we go. I've turned off the recording. Sorry. But yeah, basically that was the before pictures. So I just wanted to show you them because obviously when you see the after pictures, you kind of can assume that we just bought the house and it looked like that, or we bought the house and it was white and we painted it nice colours. But actually we did a lot. We did rewiring, we did replumbing, we remodeled, we took down a conservatory, we added in a walk-in wardrobe, we fitted 3 bathrooms, we did a new kitchen, we made the social club into an Airbnb, we made male female toilets into a luxury bathroom. We did it all. Like we did repointing, we renovated windows, oh my god, what else did we do? We did so much. We did decking outside. I didn't even take any photos of the outside. We did so much. It was a lot. It took a long time. It was very intense money-wise, but whatever. But like the finished product was like so beautiful and we loved it so much. So I just kind of wanted to show the before pictures because I think like when we bought that house, we were so proud of it, and like you can see the picture of my boyfriend like outside waving because we obviously were like, this is gonna be so beautiful, and we knew it was gonna be amazing. and we had that same feeling with this house, and while it's a lot more livable and it's actually a much nicer house and we're loving living here already, and it's not hard and it's not gross, it's like actually pretty nice, but we just know that the end result will be like, you know, it's gonna be good. So yeah, that's kind of my video, but I thought you might like to see some before and after shots. So yeah, that is my video. I hope you like. I will post my house tour very soon. We're going to be doing a lot of renovations. So far we have only really done things like stripping walls and stripping floors and that kind of thing, but it's all gonna happen. Like, we've had scaffolders around today, we have had plumbing people around today, we have had window people around. All the windows are going to be changed, it's going to be remodeled. We've got an architect working on the remodeling plans, possibly an extension, but probably more like remodeling. We've got an outbuilding that might be renovated into a dwelling. We are, what else are we going to do? We're going to expose fireplaces. We might knock out a room or two, just saying. We might add in a utility room. There's a lot to be done. There's not quite as much as the last house. There's also a lot of structural things to be done, like they put cement render on the outside when it should have been lime. So there is a lot to be done structurally as well, but also in terms of like decor, remodeling, that kind of thing. New kitchens, new bathrooms, all that fun stuff. It's all gonna happen. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of show you the befores of our old house to give you a little bit of context, because yeah, I think without that you can kind of just be like, oh, these guys, they just paint. But we don't, we do much more. We do much more, and we have a lot of fun doing it. And yeah, hopefully this house will be pretty special too. But I think I just kind of felt a little bit hurt when somebody basically told me that my new house wasn't as good as my old house, and maybe I couldn't afford my old house. And I was like, no, this house costs more. Like, I love it. I think it's beautiful. It just needs work. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, that's my video. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry it's a bit of a long one, but I felt like I should explain a little before I show you what we're working on. Does that make sense? Anyway, thank you so much. I'll see you again soon. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.